Right, okay. Good evening, students. Can you hear me clearly? Yes. Can you hear me clearly? Yes. Right. Please switch on your cameras. Anutara, can you hear me clearly? Yes, no? Right, okay. Right, so today is the second day of this paper class series. Right, you know that this class is going, yes, this class is we are continue until your second term exam in free of charge. Right, today class is going 8 to 9:30 p.m. Right, so in this time period, we are trying to discuss all in structured essay question paper, right, if we can. Okay, then you come to the question paper, right? Here is a Department of Education, Western Province, second term 2018 paper. Earlierly, I shared that the paper to you, right, to do this is. So, now start to discuss the paper. Did you complete the answer here? Right, here is the structured essay paper, right? In the second term is very important to you. Why? Because in your science paper, actually, it's made similar your O-level exam, right? So you know that with the structure of the paper is actually you have two papers mainly, right? First paper is having 40 MCQs, which you want to complete it within 2 hours, right? Here is the structure of your O-level exam. And another one, the second paper, right? It's having 3 hours. In second paper having part A and part B, right? Part A and part B. In part A having 4 structured essay questions, you want to write the answer in the same paper, right? You can see that likewise it provide this space. Got an idea? Likewise it provide this space, right? So therefore you want to write the answer in the given space. So then important thing is we should have to practice that whether how to write the answer, how to write the short answer, right? How to write the answers with related to the marking scheme, right? You have provided in very small space. So in this phase, you want to try to answers related to the marking scheme, right? Right up here, just we need to write point, right? We want to write that point answer, right? Point to the answer. Again, to the point we want to write that, right? To the point we want to write. So we are not explain the answer in the paper, right? Short and sweet, right? To the point we want to write that. So you can say that it's given short space, right? So after the answer in that paper, you have to provide it the part two, second paper part A for your examiner for the marking purpose, right? So here is the way that, so it's having 4 structured essay. You can see that students, it's having 4 structured essay questions. It's having 4 structured essay questions, and you can see that here is the space, right? Right here is the space, and here provide the diagrams also, right? Diagrams also provide, and everything you want to write in the given space, right? Given space you want to write that, right? After that, here in the part B you can see that having essay questions, right? In having essay questions, so you have provided the essay questions. So what do you want to do? That you want to select the right most easiest question to you, right? You want to select the 3 most easiest questions to you, and then you want to write the answer in separate paper. That paper is also they provided during the exam, right? So therefore not need to bring that paper for your exam hall when you will face in your O-level exam. Here is the thing, right? Here is the just background. I explained that. So now let's come to our paper. I think you all have done the answer the paper, so I earlierly share that paper, right? So then first question you can see that here provide some introductions also. The instruction, what are they? This questions paper contain part A and part B. You want to read that, answer all the question in part A in the space provided. You want to write that, Answer only 3 questions in part B. Attach the answer script of part B with part A and hand over, right? So you want to hand over the MCQ one first paper you can take, you can bring your home, right? And other papers should be hand over, right? Here is the thing, right? Okay. Then you can see that here first question, come to the very first question, right? Here is provide the picture also, right? So put your answer into the chat box when we are discussing that paper, right? Okay. Put your answer to the chat box, right? So, okay, come to the question. First one, the bird on the tree fell straight towards the fish to catch it and fly back to the small shrub on the bank before it reached to initial position on the tree. The distance in between the shrub to the fish is which one? 10 meter, and shrub to the branch of the tree is 6 meter, and branch to the fish is 12 meter. Write the answer for the given question. So you can see that it provided some values, right? So let's put the information given to here in the picture before given the answer, right? I think it will be easier to provide the answer. What is it? The bird on the tree fly straight towards the fish to catch it and fly back to the small shrub on the bank before it reached to its initial position on the tree. The distance in between the shrub to fish. Here is the tree. You can see that here is the shrub and here is the fish. So write the distance between, you can see that the distance between the shrubs to fish is 10 meter. That means this distance, right? This distance is 10 meter. Right, you want to note down 10 meter, and shrub to branch is 6 meter. Shrubs to branch mean putala, here is the 6 meter, right? Here is the 6 meter, and branch to fish is 12 meter. Here is the branch and here is the fish. It's a 12 meter, right? This information is very important to provide the answer, right? This information provide the answer. So can you clear that board to you? Right, just put the ratio and is it clear to you? All of them, please. Yes, is it okay? No, right? Can you write? Can you see that the values? I wrote it on the board. Yes, no, right? Okay. Then calculate the total distance of bird when it reach back to the branches after catching fish. Calculate the total distance of bird when it reach back to the branch after catching fish. So what do you think? What is the answer? Yes, just put your answer into the chat box. Asking about the distance, right? Please put your answer. So what do you think? Right, it's about, so what's your answer you have taken? It's about 12 meter plus 10 meter plus, asking about distance, no? 6 meter. What is it? Right, 12 plus 10, 22. 22 plus 6 is 28 meter, or 10 meter plus 6 meter, that means 16 meter. What do you think? Right, 12 plus 10 plus, right, good. 6 is, one of the students said that 28 meter, right, very good. So another one, so is the answer same? You all take, right? Tell me that. Yes, it's the same. Rusheni, right? Please switch on your camera, students. After switch on your camera, right? Your video, right? Not shown to the others, right? Only you are seeing to me, right? It's important to keep in the focus into the class. To keep the focus in the class. Class focus in maintain so right, right, MSI, please change your name. Right, MSI. Can you change your name? Is I asking you. So what is it? Please put your answer. Please put your answers here. What is it? Is it 28 meter or 16 meter? What do you think? Is it 28 meter or 16 meter? Just put your answer quickly. Right? So one of the students said that it's a 28 meter. Is there any different answer here? 28. Right. No different answer. What do you think? No different answer here? Yes? No. 28. Anuttara, 28. Can you switch on the camera? Anuttara. Good. Right, actually it's not the 28, right? 20 is wrong. So that is the point, right? So you want to understand the question, what is it? May calculate the total distance of bird when it reach back to the branch. When it reach back to the branch after catching fish. After asking about that after catching fish. Here is the point that given. You want to find the distance. You want to find the distance of the bird after catching fish. So here is the place that in the having in the fish, right? So then, right, he want to fly to this place from the branch. Got it, the idea? But the thing is, they are not asking about the distance, asking about that, right, this journey. Here is the fish. After catching the fish, right, the bird fly to the shelf, and then after bird asking about this region. So very important to understand the question. You think about that, right? You think about that. The question is very easy, right? But you have done it the wrong way. Why? You have select the, you have understanding is very, your understand is wrong. Got the idea? If you can understand clearly, right? If you can understand it clearly, then you can get the answer very easy. So what should be the answer here? It should be 16 meter, right? Not the 28. It's not the 28. It's a 16 meter, right? It's a 16 meter. The answer should be 16 meter. The second one, find the velocity of the bird if it took 3 seconds to catch the fish by after starting from branch to the fish, right? Asking about velocity. So you know that what is the velocity. So how do we find the velocity? Velocity equal actually, right? Velocity equal displacement over time. What is the displacement? Total displacement is, right here, find the velocity of the bird to 3 seconds. So you can see that what is the displacement. What do we call the displacement? Actually, displacement is, we call it as a shortest distance in between the 2 points, no? Right? Therefore, you can see that displacement is 12 meter, right? So here displacement is 12 meter. So then 12 meter divided by, right, how many times? It's a 3 second. It's a 3 second. Then it will come 4 ms minus 1. 4 ms minus 1. The answer will be the 4 ms minus 1. 4 ms minus 1. Right? So the next asking about that, the next question, right? The next question, you can see that the next question. What is the displacement of bird after it reached to the initial position with fish? What is the displacement of bird after it reached to the initial position with fish? Asking about the initial position. So what do you think about that? What's your answer? Right? What's your answer? The initial position. Yes. Initial position neka 0 venakota. Sorry. Right after coming to the initial position, they asking about the yes, displacement. Please put your answer into the chat box. Asking about the displacement. So what do you mean by displacement, Putala? Displacement mean, what is it? Right? We can define that with a displacement. We call it as a displacement is the shortest distance, right? Displacement. Displacement we can consider as a short distance, right, in between the 2 point, right? Understand this theory well. Imagine that there are two places A and B. So the students is want to go from A to B, right? Imagine that having three different paths, having two different paths, right? Consider that the distance here 200 meter, and let's consider that here 300 kilometers, and then here we'll take that with the shortest distance in between those 2 points, right? It's a, let's take about some value. So what do you mean by distance? If the students are try to go from A to B having two distance, if he select the path P, right, their distance will be 200 meters, and when he select the path Q, right, distance will be a 300 meters, right? 300 meters. But the shortest distance in between the A and B, let's take that whether it's a 150 meter. This is, we call it as a displacement, right? Displacement. The shortest distance, right? Displacement is, we call it as a vector quantity. Displacement is, we call it as a vector quantity. It's we called as a vector quantity. Why do we call it? It's a vector quantity. It's having a magnitude as well as direction. It's having magnitude as well as direction. It's having magnitude as well as direction, right? But distance is not the vector quantity. It's we call it as a distance. Distance we call it as a scalar quantity. We call it as a scalar quantity, right? Here is the thing, right? Here is the things we want to understand in the question, right? So therefore, now let's come to our paper, right? Now let's come to our paper. In the paper, you can see that asking about what is the displacement, right? Displacement bird after it reached the initial position, right? After bird come to their initial position, right? You can see that here is starting from this place, bird is starting from the journey in this place, right? Here is the place that start, and after complete their journey, it's come to the same position. Then what is the shortest distance having the starting point and end point? The shortest distance having starting point and end point is 0, right? Therefore, in the question, the displacement we can consider as a 0. The displacement is 0. Here the displacement is 0. Answer should be 0. Sorry, answer should be 0. Find the acceleration of the bird if the mass of bird and fish is 0.5 kilogram and it applied 10 Newton horizontal force for flying with fish, right? So how do we find the force? Very easy, right? We have to use the Newton, which law? Newton second law. F equal ma, force equal mass into acceleration. Mass is 0.5 kilogram, acceleration is, we want to find that, force is given 10 Newton, right? So you can subject the A, then it come 10 Newton divided by 0.5. 10 Newton divided by 0.5. So what is the answer? What is the answer? Right, answer is 20 ms minus 2. It should be 20 ms minus 2. It should be 20 ms minus 2. Right? පැහැදිලිනේ කතන්දරේ? Is it okay නේ? Right, okay, come to the next one. What is the most abundant salt present in lagoon water? Right, question is good. What is the most abundant salt present in lagoon water? So what do you think? The most, what is it? It's a sodium chloride. What is it? Sodium chloride. Sodium chloride. We call it as a salt, right? Normally we call it as a salt. Sodium chloride. Come to the next one. Name the type of bonds in between the one molecules of that salt. Name the type of bond. What are the type of bonds having it? The bonds having it in the sodium chloride having ionic bond. Ionic bond. Ionic bond. Right? There are two type of bonds. No. What are they? We call it as an ionic bond as well as covalent bond. Ionic bond and covalent bond. So in the sodium chloride, the type of bond is ionic bond. Type of bond is ionic bond. Ionic bond killer. You have found the metal present in that salt. Write the physical property of it. You have found the right asking about you have found the metal present in that salt. You have found the metals in that salt. So asking about that. What are the physical property of it, right? What is the metal that having in sodium chloride? What is the metal? The metal is sodium. So what is the physical property of sodium having? It's a metal, no? Right? So therefore, specific physical property having, so what are they? It's a soft metal. We know that one of the physical property of sodium having, it's a soft metal. Right? Soft metal. The sodium metals we can cut using the knife. Right, සාමාන්‍ය අපිට පීයක් පාවිච්චි කරලා අපිට කපන්න පුළුවන් sodium metal එක. It's a soft metal, right? Another one, right? Can conduct the heat, can conduct the electricity. There are so many properties that have in the metals, right? So we can take it right here. Good. So then name the type of gas present in the atmosphere above the Lagon and mention the ones occasions use that gas industrially. Name the type of gas present in the atmosphere, right? Name the type of gas present in the atmosphere above Lagon and mention the one occasions used industrially. It's a Lagon, no? Right? Therefore, in Lagons, always you know that whether right it's released the specific gas. What do we call the gas that released from the Lagon? What do you think? It's released the nitrogen. 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 Name the type of gas present in the atmosphere above the Lagon and mention the one occasions that gas is industrial in the atmosphere above the Lagon. Lagon එකේ තියෙන gases අපිට ලියන්න පුළුවන් nitrogen. Right, nitrogen is the gas that in highest amount of atmosphere. Atmosphere එකේ වැඩි ප්‍රමාණයක් තියෙන gas එකනේ nitrogen. So what are the uses of the nitrogen? There are so many uses used to production of ammonia, right? ඊළඟට තව use it as a coolant, nitrogen gas. Used to fill in the vehicle tires. බලන්න discussion, right? මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ ඇවිත් තියෙනවා physics, chemistry combination එකක්, totally combination එකක්, right? Here is the good question. Right, next one. What are the compounds of protein? Name the protein compound that contain the feather of birds, right? Bird lage feathers වල තියෙන protein එක අහන්න දරුවනේ. It's a keratin. We call it as a keratin. Keratin. It's a keratin, right? It's a keratin. Keratin. What is the compound of protein which involve in coordination and homeostasis? What is the compound of protein which involve in coordination and homeostasis? So what is it? Proteins. Which kind of proteins involve to coordination and homeostasis? Yes? Please put your answer to the chat box. Which type of proteins? Yes, good. Hormones. Hormones. Hormones involved. Hormones involved. Right. Here is the answer for the first question. So if you have done the paper, so you can put the mark for each of the question. Right. You want to give the 1 mark for each, right? You want to give the 1 mark for each. එකකට එක ගානේ දෙන්න පුළුවන්. And you can calculate how many marks you can obtain, right? අපි ගත්තත් for the first questions. For the first question, here is a 1 mark. 1 marks. And to find the velocity, right, it's also given to 1 mark. It's also 1 mark, and here also 1 mark. And to find the acceleration is given to 2 marks. 2 marks. And to write in the sodium chloride is also 1 mark. Right, write in the sodium chloride is also 1 mark. And to write in the ionic compound is also 1 mark. To write in the ionic compound, 1 mark. Right, write in the properties of metal. Right, you can write the so many properties, no? Right, if you have write the correct physical properties of the metal, it's also 1 mark. Right, it's also 1 mark. And the next one, the metals, the gases that have in above the atmosphere, it's also 1 mark. Right, and you want to write the which one? You want to write the properties is also, no? Right, you want to write the properties, and writing about the carotene is also 1 mark, and hormones is also 1. Okay, count your mark out of the 50. Total marks should be the 15, right? Total mark provided each of the MCQ is 50. Right, so calculate the marks quickly. Calculate the mark quickly and put the chat box. So before go to the next question. And place your mark to the chat box, right? Right, so how many marks you got it in the first question? How many marks? All the marks is given by the 15. So then you want to put that how many marks you have out of the 15. So the very important thing is if you are coming to this class, right, before, right, the very important thing is to do the paper. Right, before coming the paper, right, what do you want to do that, right? You want to answer the paper. Why? Then you can check that whether what are the mistake you have. Right, got it? Idea. What are the mistake you have? So writing the answer for the science paper is very important. You can see that, right? Every answers, right? I wrote in on the given space, right? So space is enough. Got it? Idea. Most of the time, no, right? We are writing right different kind of answers. අපි සාමාන්‍ය දිග උත්තර ලියනවා. got it? Idea, right? Trikesh good 13. Right, 13. Right, සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මේ structured essay එකට above 13 යන්න ඕනි to get the best A pass, right? හොඳ A එකක් ගන්න නම් right යන්න ඕනි. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් හැම ළමයෙක්ම second term එකේ ඉඳන්ම try කරන්න if you are wishing to take the best results for your O level exam in the science subject, right? From the second term exam you want to try to take the 90 marks, not the A pass, right? You want to try to take about the 90 marks. සාමාන්‍ය 90ට වැඩි ලකුණක් paper එකට යන්න try කරන්න ඕනේ හැමෝම. If you are wishing to, right, take the A pass for your science, what do you want to do then? Right, you want to try to take the marks above 90, then it will come to the A. So if you are trying to take the margin at least sharply 75, never happen, right? ඒක වෙන්නේ නැහැ කවදාවත්. got it idea? So you want to try to take above 90 marks, right? 100 ගන්න පුළුවන් නම් perfect, but එහෙම වෙන්න තියෙන chance එක අඩුයිනේ. But you can take the marks above the 90, right? There are so many students likewise. මේ වගේ students ලා ගොඩක් ඉන්නවා 90 ගන්න above 90 reach කරපු කට්ටිය. right, ඒකින්ද මේ වගේ තමයි try කරන්න ඕනේ. Right, anyway good, right? So let's go to the our next question. Let's go to our next question. It's a questions coming from the biology. අපිට තව මේකට එකක් ලියන්න තියෙනවනේ අපි ඒක ලියලා නැහැ. Right, okay. මේ බලන්න එකකට අපි answers දීලා නැහැ. The process of the production of eggs inside the fish body is given below. It start from the ovules, mother cells, fill the following chart. Fill the following chart. They said that whether fill the following chart. Here should be the 2n, right? It's a 2n. So how do we? Here is the cell division. There are two type of cell divisions method in the living body. We call it as a meiosis and mitosis, right? So then here what happened? 2n become to the n, right? From the n is become another n cells. 2n we call it as a diploid cell. 2n we call it as a 2n mean we call it as a diploid, no? We call it as a diploid. N is we called it as a haploid. Diploid and haploid. We call it as a diploid and haploid. Right? So here are the things. So then type of the food, right? Make it lakunu kiya dil tino. It's given to 2 marks. එතකොට තමයි 15 ඉන්නේ, right? 2 marks. It given to 2 marks. Then coming to 50, right? Okay. Now let's go to the next question. What is the next? Type of food contained in the refrigerator are given below. Right? Type of the foods contained refrigerators are given below. Honey, spinach leaves, egg, beans, curd, ripen banana. Those things have it. Right? Honey, spinach leaves, eggs, beans, curd, ripen banana. Right? Name the two main organic compounds present in living matter other than the nucleic acid. What are they? It's having 4 biomolecules, no? Carbohydrate, protein, lipid, nucleic acids. Out of the nucleic acids, you can write carbohydrate, right? Carbohydrates. Any more? Proteins, lipids. Any of the answer you can write. Any of the answer. Out of this is any of. Name 2. Asking about the 2, then you can write it. All right, next question. Write the foods for each mostly abundant organic compound by selecting the above items you mentioned above. Organic compound එකක් අහනවා. So what is the organic compound? Right, here having food items. What are the food items having? Here honey, spinach leaves. Right, organic compound, let's take carbohydrate. Carbohydrate, you can see that what are the foods that included carbohydrate in given? What are they? Right, it's, you can take me. What are they? What are the things that mostly abundant food items? Right, we can take honey, bee honey අපිට ගන්න පුළුවන්. තව any more? Right, any more? Right, carbohydrate, it's found in ripened banana. Ripened banana. Right, we can take it. Honey and ripened banana. Right, name the monosaccharides present in honey. What are the monosaccharides present in honey? The honey is contained, right? You know that carbohydrate we can divide it into 3: monosaccharide, disaccharide, polysaccharide. So ripened banana, the monosaccharide present in honey is, we call it as a glucose. Right, glucose. Write a metallic elements then present in red blood cells. What is the metallic elements present in red blood cells? It's an iron. It's an iron. Fructose is also present. Yes. Asking about that, name the monosaccharides present in the glucose. Fructose එකත් හරිද කියලා නෝ? Yes. It's available in fructose also. Right? Fructose is also present, right? But the thing is, it's available Fructose is also present. You can write fructose also. Right? So okay then. Right. Next question. Name the substances that stimulate all the biochemical reaction in the organism. What are the substances that stimulate all the biochemical reaction? We call it as an enzyme. Enzyme. What do we call them? We call it as an enzyme. Enzyme. We call it as an enzyme. We call it as an enzyme. Next one, two experiments done by the students to identify nutrients present in two food sample are given below. Right? What are the experiment? You can see that by adding reagent X and heating, it's shown the observation brick red precipitate. And the next one, adding Y reagent, you can see that it's a food turn to the purple color. Here are the two tests that we are using to identify the foods, right? So what do you think about what is the excretion? So what do you think about what is this test, Putala? The test, what is it? The test that we are using, which one here? Excretion. Yes, it's a glucose. Good, right? The region, so the test is glucose. So what do you think about this region? Right, here is the test that we are using, identify the glucose. To identify the glucose, we have to use specific regions. We call it as a Benedict. Neither. We call it as a Benedict solution. We call it Benedict solution. What should be the Y? Why we call it as a biurate solution? We call it as a biurate solution. Biurate solution. Right, we call it as biurate solution. Right, here are the observation. Right, okay. Right, name the X and Y regions. Right, here is this biurate solution. So why do we use the biurate solution? To identify the proteins, right? To identify the proteins. The next one, what is the color change that Sudan 3 regions? That Sudan 3 regions mix with the cream of curd. So why do we use the Sudan 3 test? The Sudan 3 test is the test that we can use identification of what are they? Sudan 3 we are using identification of lipids. Very good, right? We are using Rama is good, right? Lipids, to identification of lipids we are using Sudan 3, right? So therefore, right, we can take it, what is it? Lipids. We can write it as a lipids. We can write it as a lipid. Right, we call it as a lipid test. Without asking about what are the color change that Sudan 3. Asking about the color change, right? Color change, it's formed with the red fat globules. Red fat globules. Red fat globules. Create the red fat globules. Good. Right. Let's move the next part. Let's move the next part. In part B. Electronic microscopic view of the two types of cells are given above. Name A and B. So what is the type of cells A and what is the type of cells B? Asking about what is the type of cells A and what is the type of cells B. What do you think? The type of cells A mean which one? It's a plant cell. It's a A and X. X mean what is it? So identify A. A is a plant cell, no? A is plant cell. B is animal cell. Animal cell. Right, so electronic microscopic view of two type of cells, name A and B. Asking about A and B, right? Here should be A and here should be B, you know? Plant cell and animal cells. Write the two organelles present in A but not B. So before that, tell me, how do we identify whether first one is plant cell and second one is animal cells? What is the theory? What is the point that we are using to identify this thing? Yes, what do you think? Which point we have to use that? The point? What is it? What do you think? You don't have any idea about that? The point that we are used for identify this? Which point? Yes, please put the chat box. Vacuoles is answer, right? Okay. So you can see that here having cell wall, here does not having cell wall, right? Here does not having cell wall. Got it, the idea? So what are the difference thing? Write the two organelles present A but not B. In A present organelles got the chloroplast. Chloroplast. Chloroplast is help to photosynthesis. Chloroplast is help to photosynthesis and cell wall also. Cell wall. Cell wall. Chloroplast and cell wall. Chloroplast and cell wall. Write the two type of cell division. There are two type of cell divisions. What do we call? Meiosis and mitosis. Spellings were there. Right, meiosis and mitosis. Meiosis and mitosis. Okay, right. Then the information of the element present in the periodic tables are given below. Write the answers using the given symbol. Or not is standard. Okay, we have already to complete the second question also, right? Okay, can you calculate the marks if you have already to done that question? Right, second question, Nikki. So how to give the marks each of the question? We'll see that whether I tell that whether the marks, right? Here is given to the 2 marks, right? Only I mentioned that whether marks that given to the 2, right? And every other answers, every other things, right? If it is correct, give the 1 marks. Here is also 1 mark, right? And here is also 1 mark, likewise. Glucose or fructose, 1 marks, 1 marks, 1 marks, right? Here X and Y is also give the 1 marks to the each answer, 1, 1, likewise. So can you calculate the marks you having? Right, please calculate that. How many marks you got it? Out of the 15, 15 වලින් කීයක් තියෙනවද කියලා බලන්න. Yes, out of the 15. Out of the 15, 12. Right, good. Okay, good, right? Right, okay. So now let's move to the next question. Question number 3. Question number 3. Information of 6 elements present in the periodic table are given below. Write the answers using given symbols. Symbols are not standard. You can see that whether, right, here is the type of questions provided in your exam, right? The question is coming from actually, right, the periodic table, unit periodic table. Question is coming from the periodic table, but they are not given the which one, the correct symbol. They give the unknown symbol. Using that symbols, you want to provide that answers, right? Using that symbol, you want to provide the answer. You want to provide the answer, okay? Information of 6 elements present in the periodic tables are given below. Write the answer using the given symbol. Symbols are not standard, right? Let's see that whether P, Q, R, S, T, U, right? Number of energy levels present, electrons 2, 2, 3, 3, 3. Group number 4, 7, 2, 6. 3, 8 likewise is given. Right, okay. Blank is there. Ne? Blank එකක් තියෙනවා, no question ද? ප්‍රශ්නයක් අඩුපාඩුවක් තියෙනවා බලන්න. yes, එතන පොඩි printing mistake එකක් තියෙනවා. අපි ඒ ගැන හිතන්න නැතුව අපි continue කරගෙන යන්න. මොකක්ද කියලා බලමු. right, name the number එකත් වැරදිනේ. 3 වලින් පටන් ගන්න. අවුලන්නේ. අපි ඒක discuss කරන්න. තියෙන විදිහට discuss කරමු. මොකක්ද පොඩි question error එකක් තියෙනවා. මේ provincial papers නේ. Name the metallic elements which has a highest electronegativity. Hari, how do we identify this element? You can see that group number is also given, and right, group number is given. Number of energy levels present in present electrons is also given. Number of energy levels present electrons. Energy levels gana dila තියෙනවා. Here is the second. Right, third. And it's a second period, fourth group element in the periodic table. Second period, right, fourth group element. Right, group එක හතරමයා. Right, මෙයා second period, 7 groups. Right, third period, second group, third period, 6 group, third period, third group, third period, 8 groups. Right, we can identify. So anyway, right, in the question is asked that name the metallic element which has highest reactivity. The metals is having in the periodic table, Putala, you know that which group? The first group and the second group. Right, you can see that first group and second group. So you can see that the group number is second and third also given. According to this information given, name the metallic element which has high reactive. We can take it R. We can take it R. Why? It's a which group? It's a second group element. It's a second group element. So it should be R. It should be R. Right? It should be R. Right, next question. Write the relevant letter mentioned in above label suitable for the middle of atom A. Here මෙයාගේ දාන්න. පොඩි error එකක් තියෙනවා ළමයි ප්‍රශ්නේ. ප්‍රශ්නේ කොටස් අඩුයි නේද? Write the relevant letter mentioned in the above suitable for middle of the atom A. මෙයාගේ ඒ ප්‍රශ්නේ කොටස් අඩුයි කියලා තමයි මට තේරෙන්නේ. right, දැන් මෙයාගේ ඉතින් මෙටල් එක මිඩල් ඇටම් එක කියලා වුතින් එහෙම ළමයි ඉතින් ඇත්තටම here is the CH4 නේ කාබන් තමයි මේ තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට කාබන් මෙතනින් අයිඩෙන්ටිෆයි කරගන්න කියලා කියන්නේ නේ. Here we'll see that මෙතන ඉන්නේ කාබන් කවුද කියලා බලමු. right, මේ බලන්න. Carbon is a number of valence electron 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 no. So then number of valence electrons of the carbon 4. Right, 4. Right, එහෙනම් එයා ඇවිල්ලා which group? The fourth group element. Right, fourth group element එකක් වෙන්න ඕනේ. Which period it belongs? Second period. Right, එහෙනම් it should be the answer should be the right, answer should be the lamai what then wait a second. Right, here answer should be the P. Right, why am I select the P? You can see that it's having right 8 electrons of their valence shell. That means carbon having 4 electrons. 4 electrons. Right, 4 electrons mean it's a fourth group, no? Right, අපි දන්නෝනේ atomic number එකක the electronic configuration should be 2,4 of the carbon. එහෙනම් ඒක අනිවාර්යෙන් second period fourth group element. මේ බලන්න second period fourth group වෙන්නේ P. right? The element second period fourth group be a P. P තමයි එහෙම වෙන්නේ. හරි නේද? ඒ කතාව. Next. Write the physical property that element, right? So what is the physical property that element? It's a non-metals, no? Therefore, right, the physical property, carbon is a non-metal. So what is the physical property? The one of the physical properties, the solid state, right? It's a solid and density is comparatively low. Density is comparatively low, right? Now what are the things? It's form the covalent bonds, right? It's form the covalent bonds, right? In a less molecular mass. Likewise, we can write so many things. Asking about the physical properties, asking about that, no? So then it's asking about the physical properties. Then you want to write the physical properties of the non-metals, right? Physical properties of the non-metals. What are they? Cannot conduct the electricity. Likewise, right? Density is relatively less than relative low density. Got it idea? මේ වගේ දේවල් ලියන්න පුළුවන්. Right? Room temperature, in room temperature exists as a solid. Right? Likewise, answers you can see that. You can write it. Asking about the physical properties, right? Okay, now come to the next question. Above compounds available gas state in room temperature. Mention the reasons according to the nature of bond that compound. Which gas they mention about that, right? Mention about the which gas. Above compound available gas state in room temperature. Mention the reason according to the nature of the compound, nature of the bond compound. Right? It's having a which one? It's a gas is CH4, methane. Right? The methane is having covalent bonds, covalent compound. Right? The reason that a force holding the layers are very weak. Right? What's the answer? Right? What is it? The answer should be lesser molecular mass. One of the things you can write less molecular mass for this one. You can write it less molecular mass. Right? One of the answer you can write less molecular mass. ඊළඟට තමයි form covalent compound. Right? Non-polar, actually it's a non-polar covalent compound. It's a non-polar covalent compound. Likewise, you can write. Likewise, you can write. Below picture show arrangement of atom of a certain element. What is the structure shown by B? What is it? What is the structure? Graphite atomic lattice. It's a graphite atomic lattice. Why it is used as a lubricant of metals, right? We know that whether we can use as a lubricants of the metals. Here is the one of the graphite layer, and here is also another graphite layer. In between this layer is having which one? It's having a bonds, right? This bond is actually right. The force holding in the each of the which one? Each of the layers are very weak, right? Very weak, right? Very weak force is there in this force. Actually, very weak puthe. Me forces weak me. So therefore, we can hold in this one layer to the another one, each one, right? With theory class again, Monday class again, I told that whether right here is the structure of the graphite. In the here is the one layer of the graphite, and here is the another layer of the graphite. In between these two layers, hold in the weak bonds. Hold in weak bonds. This bond very weak, right? This bond very weak. Therefore, the one layer can hold with the another layer, right? One of the layer can hold with another layer, and so we can use it as a lubricant due to this is. So what we can write the answer? The answer should be the force holding these layers are weak. Force holding these layers are weak, right? So it can easily slide on other. So it can easily slide on other. Right, okay. Right, in the two setup used to do the activity using two chemicals in laboratory are given below. X is aqueous solution. Observation, you can see that the bulb lightning, and B, bulb doesn't lightning. Y is aqueous solution. Carbon electrode is there. What is the nature of the bond which involved to make X solution according to the observation? According to the observation, what is the nature of the bond which involved to make the X solution according to the observation? What do you think? What is the name? In the first one, bulb lighted. In the second one, when use the aqueous solution X, the bulb get lighted. When use the aqueous solution of B, right, why the bulb does not light? So why? The reason that whether, right, you can see that there is no, these are connected in the solution, but through the solution, the passing electricity. So in the solution, use the first figure, bulb lighted, reason that whether the solution having in the setup A can conduct the electricity, but not in B. So therefore, what is the nature of the bond which involved to make the X solution according to the observation? Nature of the bond. We know that with the ionic compounds can conduct the electricity. Covalent compounds cannot conduct the electricity. So therefore, in the figure bulb light mean it's having ionic bonds. Again, asking about the type of bond, then your answer should be the ionic bond. Your answer should be ionic bond. Answer එක ionic bond කියලා තිබ්බනම් හරි. Your answer should be ionic bond. Mention chemicals can be used prepare solution Y. Mention chemical can be used prepare solution Y. Mention chemical can be used prepare Y solution. Y is the solution. You can see that does not light up, no. And you can see not covalent compound. You can use the sugar solution. Either sugar solution එකක් use කරන්න පුළුවන්. Not conduct the electricity, no. තව glucose solution. Likewise, sugar solution, glucose solution, you can use. Okay, sugar solution, glucose solution, you can use. Right. What is the reason that water available in liquid state in room temperature? What is the reason that water available? So what do you think about that? Yes, tell me your answers, Putala. What do you think about that? Why water available in liquid state? Do you have any idea about that? Why water available in liquid state? Yes, any idea about that? No. What do you think? Yes, put your answer. Right, because that why? Right? What is the? Because in between the water molecules having which one? Which bond? Intermolecular bonds. Intermolecular bonds. So what do you mean by intermolecular bonds, Namai? Look at this one. So what do you mean by intermolecular bonds? Here, consider that whether, right? So it's a water molecule. It's a water molecules, right? Then it's a water molecules, right? Here is the oxygen, right? Here is the hydrogen. So I am going to draw that there. Lewis structure, right? Here is a lone pair of electrons, right? We know that hydrogen is relatively Which one? Relatively electropositive than to the oxygen. Therefore, oxygen takes slightly negative value and hydrogen takes slightly positive value. So we call it as it's a polar compound. Here is the one of the water molecule. Imagine that whether here having another water molecule, right? Here having another water molecule, right? It's also having here. It also having slightly negatively charged, slightly positively charged also. You can see that in between the hydrogen and oxygen in the two different molecules having a small attraction, likewise having a small attraction, right? This attraction we called it as a intermolecular bonds. You can see that intermolecular bonds, right? When we consider the so many amount of water molecules, we'll see that another water molecules, consider that another water molecules. It's also create this kind of attraction, slightly negatively charged, slightly positively charged, right? This bond we called it as a, which bond? We called it as a intermolecular bonds. We call it as a intermolecular bonds. Due to this intermolecular bond, water get the very important features. Due to these intermolecular bonds, water get the very important features, right? One of the features that having, right, having a high boiling point, density is higher than the water, right? At the room temperature exists as a liquid, right? Room temperature ke api danna water exists as a liquid, right? This kind of features having to the water, right? Me wage features water walta hamba wela thina due to that polarity, right? What are they? High boiling point, high boiling point. When we consider about the density, high specific heat capacity, and having a higher density, having higher density, right? Next one, high specific heat capacity. This kind of things, right? This kind of thing. Got the idea about that? So then let's come to our paper it again. Right, asking about that. What is the reason that water available in liquid at room temperature? Due to the intermolecular bond having, due to the intermolecular bonds it having. Mention the fact should be concerned when preparing X and Y solution. X is a ionic solution, Y is a covalent solution. So what are the things we want to consider then, right? So what are the things? Mention the factors should be concentrated when preparing solution. So asking about the petricles in laboratory, actually Pute, when we are preparing the solution, we have to use the water, right? We have to use the water. Think about you are using acid solution, right? Then you want to take the dilute acid, so you want to add the water to dilute this liquid, right? When we are preparing the solution, when you are dissolving something else, is also you are using water. If dissolving it with the water, right? Most of the solutions, right? Most of the liquids we dissolve with the water. That's why we call it as a solution, right? That's why we call it as a solution, right? You can see that here having what are they? Here having aqueous solution. Here is also aqueous solution. No, I mean, it mentioned that with the aqueous solution. It mentioned that with the aqueous solution. Aqueous, right? Aqueous, that means it's used the water. So which water we are using? Normally, what do you think? We can use the tap water? No, we are not using tap water. Why? It's mixed with a different salt, right? Different things mix that, no. So that's why we are not using tap water. We are using distilled 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 water. Here is the thing. Right, okay. Then quickly count the marks, and after the question discussing question number 4, let's stop the class. So quickly count the marks, and if you want to write anything else, now the times you can write it. Anything else you want to copy down? Quickly do that. Can you send me the papers? I share to the paper to the WhatsApp group. Wait, I will share it again. This class is going on free of charge until your second term. So if your friends having wishing to join this class, right, please send the message with them. Hi, okay, now let's move the next question, right? The next question, let's discuss about that. A practical done by the students to verify a law of motion, Newton's, is given below, right? Law of Newton, right? Those are the most probable, right, questions. Most I can වැඩිපුරම එන්න පුළුවන් areas තමයි මේ exam එකට for the second term, right? When we are discussing the essay questions also, right, you can get the idea about that, right? Totally, right? The theory is how important and what are the backgrounds that using to build up your paper. So therefore, right, please give your attention this kind of theory part. So those are the very most common areas that make in the question, right? In first ionization energy, electronegativity, about the periodic table, and write in the chemical formula and about the bonds, right? So most velocity time graph, right? Most common area that make in the question. So therefore, right, give the attentions. You know that in the lessons biology characteristic of living organisms, the experiment that we are doing using the frogs, right, and using the germinating seeds, right, follow that areas in this day, right. Always try to take the marks above 90, right, above 90, not more than 75. If you are wishing to take the A pass for your O-level exam, here is the time that start to work, because you are in grade 10 now. So you want to starting for your O-level exam from the grade 10 also, students, right? You want to starting from your O-level, you want to start to do the work for your O-level exam from the grade 10. So here is the time. That means from the second term, right? Second term exam is very important to the students in grade 10. You can get the idea about that, you right? So don't skip your exam is also right. Don't skip your exam, right? Anyway, if you are staying any level of the theory, if you are staying which level of the theory, right? Don't skip your exam, right? So don't skip your exam. Do it well, and if you are don't get any marks, so don't worry about that, right? The phasing for the exam is also well important. Got it idea? Phasing of the exam is also very important. So therefore, right, these days work hard for your second term, right? Especially math science, and if you are doing ICT and commerce, those are right. So okay, let's go to the next question. A practicals done by the students to verify law of motion if Newton laws given below A, B, C is given. Write the two factors should be constant in this practical. You can see that what are the factors in the math card is there. You can see that 1 kilogram, 1 kilogram, 1 kilogram. So what do you think about the mass is constant? No, we can take that whether one of the factors is mass. Another one, what do you think about that? What do you think? The another factors that should be constant. What do you think about that? Should be the friction, right? It should be the same surface. It should be the same surface. Therefore, friction is also constant. What is it? Friction is also constant. Here, come to the second question. Which factor is increased respectively in the above A, B, C? So come to the example, right? In the A, you can see that apply the 1 Newton force. In the second one, 2 Newton force, and the another one, 3rd Newton force. Then which factor increase? Increase the force. Force is increased. Then applied force is increased. Let's write applied force. Applied force. It's applied force is increased, right? So very easy, right? The observations, we want to observe the question and we want to understand the question, then you can write the answer. To the point you can write. Point is very important. Here is given one rule, so then you can write the answer in the one rules. To the point. Always we need to write, always we need to practice the right answer in the science paper to the point, right? So then short and sweet answer, you can take the completely marks, right? Don't worry about that. If you know the theory, then you can do it well, right? So when they applying a small horizontal force on the trolley does not move, what is the reason for that? What do you think about that? If you are applying the force to the trolley, right, it does not move, right? So why? Because we know that the force sufficient to apply to the trolley is not enough to move that. So why that? What is the reason then? The reason that whether there is a frictional force to the opposite direction of its motion. There's a frictional force. Then the force that we apply to the cart is not sufficient, that are not enough to overcome the frictional force. Got the idea? That force is not enough to overcome the frictional force. That should be your answer, right? So then what do you want to do then? What do you want to write your answer? Your answer should be, when applying small horizontal force, the trolley does not move. What is the reason for that? Right? You can write. Likewise, you can write the answer. The applied force is force is not enough to exceed the which force? Frictional force. Right? Frictional force. The students said that the trolley can be easily more slightly inclined, smooth plank wood. Do you admit to it? A student said that trolley can be easily more slightly inclined, smooth plank. Yes, what do you think? Do you admit it? Right? When using the inclined plane, The grade 9 we have learned it about, no, simple machines, right? Yes, we can do it easily. The work we can done easily using the inclined plane. So therefore, asking about, do you admit it? Yes, yes, yes. Write the reason for it. Right? Reason that because the friction is very low. Because the friction is very low. Right? Friction is very low. Friction is very low. You can write the answer. The friction is very low. And when wooden plank is inclined, the force is act towards the gravity. Fifth one, why it is required to stretch the rubber band up to the equal distance and parallel to the trolley, right? So you know that whether in this activity we have to use the rubber band. Here is the rubber band, right? You can see that each of the instances the rubber band apply in the same distances. What is the purpose of that one? Right? Here is not the rubber band actually. Right? It's not the rubber band. The question. Come to the question. Question is asked that whether why it is required to stretch rubber band up to the equal distance and parallel to the trolley. Equal distance and parallel to the trolley. So why? To provide the equal amount of force to the each of the instances, making to apply the equal force on the trolley. To apply equal force. To apply equal force to the trolley. What is the instrument that can be used to measure the force exerted on the trolley? What we can use? We know that in the laboratory, to measure the force, we are using Newton spring balance. Newton spring balance. Three velocity graphs that drawn by the students for represent above instances are given below. Match the graph with relevant instances. Here you can see that velocity with time variation. So what do you think about that? Match the graph flow in the instances given. Here first, come to the first instance in the figure. Come to the first instances. In first instances, apply 1 Newton force to the same mass. In the second instances, apply 2 Newton force to the same mass. In the third instances, apply the 3 Newton force to the same mass. So what can you think about that? Right? So acceleration of the object, let's calculate that whether, right? Put the F equal ma. So I will show to you with calculation. A equal F divided by m, no, right? So 1 newtons divided by 1 kilogram. Its acceleration 1 ms minus 2. Come to the second instances. 2 Newton divided by 1 kilogram. So what is it? It's also 2 ms minus 2. And the third one, you come that 3 Newton divided by 1 kilogram. It's also 3 ms minus 2. Right? You can see that whether, right? What is the reason that, right? The acceleration, each of the instances goes up. Acceleration value goes up, right? Come to the now graph. You can see that in velocity time graph, the gradient is represented by the acceleration. Here you can see that the gradient of each of the graph goes up. Reason that why? Due to the change of acceleration. Right? We want to put the letters, right? In first figure A, no, right? We can put that A. In the second figure, right? In the second figure, it's not to the suitable for the second image. Why? Second image acceleration 2, third image acceleration 3. When we compare these two, you can get the idea about that, right? The gradient of the gradient of the third figure and second figure, right? The gradient of the second figure is higher than to the gradient of the third figure. Therefore, it should be actually defined to the related graph instances of 3, and it should be the B, second one. Why am I am selected that the gradient, right? The gradient of the graph. Both three are represent acceleration, but what the different factor? Only the gradient, gradient. Here show that the lowest acceleration, position, right? Consider that likewise. What is the relationship relevant for the above three instances? Relationship, what is it? Relationships. If force is directly proportional to the acceleration, you can see that only the factors we change force. So when the force is increasing, acceleration increase. Force is decrease, acceleration decrease. That is we called as a direct proportional. What do you mean by direct proportional? When increasing the one factor, in the same amount another factor is increased, and when decrease the another factor, in the same amount decrease the force, right? Then what is the Newton laws built up from it, right? You want to write the Newton second law. Write the Newton second law. Newton second law. Newton second law. Right? The last question. The last question of our class. According to the above equation, what is the force that need to give 2 ms minus 2 acceleration? Mass is 5 grams. Very easy. Put that F equal ma, right? If we want to find mass is given 500. Very important to convert to kilograms, right? Kilograms, because we want to apply the SI unit. So therefore, we want to divide it by 1000. And acceleration, what is the force that need to give 2 ms? It should be not the -1, -2, right? 2 ms minus 2. So then what is it? Here is a 1, here is a 2, 2 into 2 cancel, it's come 1 Newton. 1 Newton. 1 Newton. Right. Here is the paper. So let's see that how to marks given, right? It's given 2 marks for this one, right? 2 marks for this one. And here is the 1 marks. Here is also 1 marks. Each of these 3, may tunama harina 3 marks. Tunama harina 3 marks. And another one, it's a 1 mark. 1 mark. Right, in region also 1 mark. And here is also 1 mark. Right. It's also 1 mark. And also 1 marks, 1 marks, 1 marks. Likewise, marks. Okay, calculate the marks and just put into the. So how many marks you have out of this question? Right, 15. Out of the 15 calculated, and just put the your marks. If you have already done before coming the class the paper, right, please put your marks to the paper out of the 60. 60 out of the 60 total marks. We have just discussed the 4 questions. Right, api question hatarak discuss karai structure they say. Yes, please put that. Trikeshi, so what's your marks? Now I just 52. Yes, good. Anuttara Devamini. Good, right? 52 is super marks. 49 Senal super. Niyamai. 49 good, right? It's a good mark. Right, okay. අනිත් අය කරන්න නැතුව ඇතිනේ. This only discussion එක විතරද? Okay, ළමයි. So today I'm going to stop this class and the remaining part, right? Let's discuss the next day. And there is a structured essay. So not the essay part is you have in the same paper. Please complete before coming the next class. Right? Okay, Nishari is 50 marks good, right? So we will discuss it about next day. Right then, good night to all students. See you the next day. Bye, everyone.
එන විදවසේ. අයගේ දවස් පහ